Welcome back, everybody, to my dirty workbench. This is what happens every time I'm doing a chainsaw. And with this one will be the one for sale in Chicago. It is my last one for sale. So if you're going to Flashback Weekend, you will see it down there unless somebody buys it. I want to talk about fitting the top for comfort and all that stuff. You know, I want to just cover everything for you guys since this is my last one for sale. And I know a lot of people are doing tops, you know, the custom metal tops, which is very cool to see. Now, the open cut, of course, this is very much like Evil Dead 2 Army of Darkness, what they did for those chainsaws. Let's look at the top. Now, this is an aluminum top. You can see it's put together. It's not smoothed out or anything. It has the proper structure. You can see there's epoxy right here and on the other side. And on the inside, you can see there's fiberglass. Now, with these, what I've been doing for the last few is, of course, I use the Gorilla Glue and I use the Loctite glues and all that stuff to make sure everything sticks together. But I go over the tabs with a 2-part epoxy, and I'll or an epoxy to where it's anything you can get at a hardware store, you know, like waterproofing epoxy. And then I go over with fiberglass. It gives it a lot more structure, a lot more strength, and pulling it apart's just, you're gonna have to just rip the shit out of this to get it out of the way, or rip it apart. When it comes to comfort and stuff and where my lines are. Now, this look is, of course, this is Rob from Evil Dead Chainsaw's look that he did for Ash vs. Evil Dead. But the thing you want to remember with this, if you're not sitting on top, you're inserting, this lip right here has to basically sit flush inside of here. Like, it actually inserts inside, just so your motor piece sits right below it and it sits right on top. If it's too big, then it's going to flip-flop around. On the other side, let me turn this around. Now, this is very important for comfort, especially if you're doing a horizontal handle. Now, I have tabs here on each side. Now, this tab here, I'll drill out. It's going to connect down here. This other side, I'm going to drill a hole and we'll connect into the block. So I'll have connections here, 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 and then to the wrist clamp here, down here, to the little tab on the back. Now, you want to make sure that this line, and I'll trim this down later, even after it's bonded and stuff, I'll still trim it down. It needs to basically, what you want to do, and you can have it a little longer, but not too much longer, is it wants to sit right in that body line of the body. So that's one thing I do, is I do the final trimming after it's all formed, just so I know I didn't cut too much off. Because you got to do it that way. So this one will sit right inside of here like this. And if it is a little longer, you can use spray foam, any kind of foam from Craft Shop to pad that up, whatever you need to do. But I leave that long right there as well. You can see this tab, and that just covers the back of where the tanks go. So it actually goes down a little further. So there's no gaps there. But a little gap's okay. Just, you can fill it in with milliput or whatnot. And then one last thing is, let's say you have it, and a problem that a lot of people have. So I have maybe a little tiny gap down here. And see, I'm just kind of holding it, and I still have to sand this sucker down. Is sometimes you might have a little gap, you know, way smaller than that. Like, let's say right there. See that little gap right there? Say you have a little gap like that. When you're done, you can have the whole chainsaw done. You have that little gap, just get milliput, just put a little bit in there, because that spot's painted black anyways. Be very lenient. Don't build it up so it's huge so you have to sand it down. You can actually wet milliput down and fill in that crack and just paint it black. Done. But I hope that helped you guys out. It's just a really quick tip for you guys when making a custom metal top. But that's the process I go through. Of course, like I said, on the initial form, it's Gorilla Glue, and it's the Loctites, the Super Gel Loctites. Grab them so you can kind of see. Ultra Liquid and Ultra Gel. Then a 2-part epoxy you can get from any hardware store as long as it's strong. And fiberglass. And you don't have to lay down patches of fiberglass. You can get this stuff that comes in comes in a Bondo container, like at Walmart or any kind of hardware store or automotive store. And it's just a filler, but it actually will give it a little more strength. So you got 3 types of glue, you got 2-part epoxy, and you got fiberglass. So if you're doing that and you're worried about strength and you're using a real bar, you know, it's a good step to do. So hope to have helped you guys out. Until next time, you guys stay groovy.